Welcome back, everybody, to another episode from Broke to Millions Live, man. We're here to show you some amazing things, man. Show you how to do this real estate. Whether you want to do some small 4 families, 2 families, house hacking, we'll take you all the way to large multi-family hotels and developments, man. But hey, man, first off, before we get started, give it up for my man Walt Potty the Piper, man. The what we call him, the audio visual engineer.
Didn't turn my microphone on. Hello, everyone.
Gosh, I don't know how are you the engineer and you never have your mic working?
Because I don't use it that much.
Okay.
At least I got yours working today, right?
Yeah.
See, that's all that matters.
But that's your job.
And
all the way from the Philippines, but resided in Avondale, my man Wendell the Gooseman. What's up, brother?
All right, guys. We have something exciting for you.
What we got?
Hold on. You know how Win does it. He says, "What's up, man?" Mike says, "What's up, man?" And Win just says, "Hey guys, let's get straight to business."
I don't even get a hello.
He don't get no hello, no greeting, no. Man, I'm doing well, nothing. It's like, man, let's go straight to the business. Like we ain't got time for all that.
That's what my wife said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tells about me too. Like I sometimes get overly focused on what we need to do. It's like, okay.
Like stop all the small talk.
All right, but we have something exciting, Mike.
What we got?
So we will interview
Really?
Davonne Reaves.
Really?
You know, she went from the front desk to the top desk. And last night we were actually talking about her during the hotel investing masterclass.
Yeah, we were.
You know, like you said that she's the king of big deal hacking.
Yes.
Not even the queen,
No,
even
she jumped
higher,
over.
right?
She jumped over.
All right, and guys, you will do this interview so that you will learn from someone actually doing deals today, right in this market. You know, someone who literally went from the bottom to the top, right? So we will find out her story and learn and actually discuss the 3 hotels that she owns together with you, Mike. So
that'd be awesome.
All right, yeah. Let's jump right in. Davonne, are you there? Oh, and I forgot. So tell us where you're from.
You had to. I've been waiting for y'all to so I can turn my video on.
All right, he's gonna hook you up.
All right. So, but before we start, tell us where you're from. In the
in the chat, in the DM,
in the chat,
wherever you're at,
or in the comments if you're on Facebook or Instagram. Or YouTube, actually, right?
There you go. We got YouTube.
Yeah.
So, guys, this show has been brought to you by, I know you don't even have it in there. It's brought to you from, where's it at?
Here.
Oh, you got it? We got the book From Broke to Millions. If you haven't got your book, get your book From Broke to Millions. Go to FromBrokeToMillions.com. Get your book. I guess that was a good one. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, every time I talk about this book, I get choked up. That's what happens. I just get choked up every time I talk about this book. So go to Broke to Millions. And also, this is brought to you by our new development, the SOTA. It's an amazing project. It actually got approval. So we're actually official now. So this
Congratulations.
Thank you. This is a 506c, so it's for accredited investors. So if guys you're interested in being part of some amazing project like that, just email us or go to our website www.nassauinvest.com and join our investor list, and we'll send you information about that project. Once again, that's www.nassauinvest.com, and go join our investor list, and you can be a part of this amazing development that will change downtown Sarasota. All right, so let's jump into it, man.
From front desk to top desk.
Yeah.
How to be a hotel owner. Let's get the
what you got? Where everybody at? Oh,
yeah, we did.
Wait, I can't see it. Is it in there? It's in there. Ain't nobody sitting. Oh, everybody's silent. Can they respond?
Yeah. Chat with the panelists.
Oh, okay. All right. So Davonne, from the front desk to the top desk, how to be a owner. That's what we're going to talk about today here. Oh,
look at that. Infinite loop right there.
What?
I don't
In-
know.
Got you.
Infinite loop. So let's show the PowerPoint.
Just trying a second. There we go.
Okay, there we
Oh,
go.
look at that.
Y'all fancy today.
I know. Look at that, bro. Wynn didn't even mean to do that. So Davonne. Davonne owns 3 hotels. Used to work at the front desk. She came from Hyatt. Why isn't my thing working?
Here, you need to turn it on first, Mike.
Oh, maybe you got to turn it on here. I'm just doing extremely well here today.
All right. So and then yeah, go ahead, Mike.
She worked from the front desk all the way to the top desk. Owns 3 hotels now. Davonne is also an author. How to Buy a Hotel, the roadmap to hotel ownership. What else we got with Davonne here? She's been posted in Ebony magazine. How do you get an Ebony magazine? I want to be in Ebony magazine. Black Enterprise.
I'm waiting on Essence. I got Ebony. Now I'm just waiting on Essence.
And you're on here looking flawless. Like, I want to be that's boss moves. The next Sheila Johnson. If you don't know who that is, Davonne will be the next Sheila Johnson here.
Aw, yay! I appreciate that.
So, Davonne, your hotel experience, front desk, hotel operations. Tell us about your experience with hotels and how you started at the front desk. Like you did start at the front desk, literally. Is that accurate?
Literally at the front desk. Like I used to check in guests.
Wow.
And walk guests.
And how was that? Like, how did you go from front desk? Then you're saying, all right, I'm going to start owning hotels. Where does that vision come from?
You know what? It didn't come while I was working because at the time that I was working at the front desk, I didn't think that you could own a hotel because the Hyatt at the time owned the hotel that I was working at. So
and that was a family. Yeah, they just sold
They just sold it a couple years ago. It was like I think 2019 is when they sold it right before COVID.
So literally, you were working for a family business.
Yeah. It wasn't even public at the time when I first started working there because, I think they went public when I was working there. And I didn't know anything about stocks. I should have got some stocks. Anyway, that's a different story. So so at the time I didn't know anything about owning hotels. There wasn't, podcasts or anything. There wasn't your book, Mike. There wasn't your mastermind. There wasn't YouTube University. So it wasn't like, you couldn't Google it. Like Google wasn't, it's like you didn't think about it, right? And so and then they didn't talk about it. They didn't talk about owning hotels. So the pathway in hotels was you become a general manager, and that was it. That was like the highest thing you could go, and that's just what I thought. I didn't think anything else. And so I joined this organization called the American Hotel Lodging Association Under 30 Gateway. And they had like annual meetings. I was on the board, and it was a lot of people from the Indian community who were part of the organization. They were under 30, and they were like in their 20s. We were all in our 20s, and they owned hotels. And I was like,
they were in their 30s.
No, they were in their 20s because you had to be under 30 to be
wow.
part of this organization. So it was like I think I was like 25 or 24. I don't even think I was that old. I think I was like 23. And I said, wait, you can own a hotel? Like, I just didn't think it was possible. And of course they inherited, you know what I mean? Like they uncles or daddy or somebody gave them a hotel. So, they give out hotels, like folks give out houses at community. So,
wait a minute. They my dad just gave me a hotel.
No, like seriously, that's like, or they grew up in a hotel. So they like uncle give them hotels. Like, they just all get a hotel. It's like, you get a hotel. It's just how it is.
Like Oprah, you get the hotel. You get the hotel.
That's literally how it is. And so, it piqued my interest, and I said, "Oh my goodness!" I said, so I was like, you know what? I don't want to be a general manager anymore. I want to own a hotel. I have this thing about being like number one and have like the highest position. And so, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a hotel owner one day, and I didn't know how to do it, right? Because like I said, it wasn't YouTube or anything. Like I even went to the CEO of Hyatt, Mike. they had like an event at my Hyatt that I was working at, and the
That's
CEO
right.
was there.
That's
Mark
right.
Copper made, and nobody would go up there and like talk to him. Everybody was scared.
Now I know you ain't scared.
I walked right up to him. I was like, I want to own a hotel. He was like, what? I was like, how do you do it? I mean, in my mind, he's the CEO of Hyatt. He should know how to buy. In my mind, that's what I was thinking.
Right.
I was like, well, how do you buy a hotel? And he was like, I was like, is there a program? And he was like, no. He didn't know. He's like, I don't know. So he sent me to the director, the chief human resources officer of Hyatt.
Right.
They didn't have a program. They just had the management training program. So I just had to figure it out on my own. And so I took this non-paid internship for a consulting firm.
Wait a minute. You went basically to work for free?
Yeah, I had to learn, man. I had to hustle.
So it was worth it to work for free to learn this.
We would have never met if I would have never taken that internship.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Wow. I didn't know that.
You know what? But you know what? I'm glad to share, because I tell people all the time. They were like, "How did I don't have any money, or I don't have this, or I don't have that." I said, "Look, find whatever you do, just add value, or go do an internship and do it for free." And I know people are like, "I ain't working for free," but because you did a free internship, because you worked for free, but in return, you gained abundance of knowledge.
And contacts
and
there.
contacts and everything.
Yep.
You created a whole new community.
New community. I mean, from the contacts that I've met working at that non-paid internship, I still know them, Mike. Like when we go to Hunter Conference, they remember me from when I was at the internship. So yes, I was there for about 3 months. I worked in the Hyatt in the morning, and I worked at the non-paid. I worked at the non-paid internship in the morning and a Hyatt at night because I still had to pay bills. I mean, my dad was like, nobody could understand me working for free. My dad was like,
yeah, I know. Like what? What in the hell? They were like, what in the hell?
Yeah, that was, nobody understood that. They was like, Davonne, they don't make any sense. And so I'm glad I did it. And I left Hyatt. I started working for the consulting firm full time. So that's where I learned about feasibility studies. That's where I learned about structured deals. That's where I learned about public-private partnerships. It was more so on the development side. That's why I started building relationships with the brands and understanding branding selection, pro formas, understanding, the financing aspect of deal structuring. And because a lot of the owners they had plenty of money. They were high net worth individuals. They just didn't know how to develop a hotel. Yes. So that's what we did. We did. So some of the projects I worked on, like the Hard Rock Hotel, I did that feasibility study, the one that's here in Atlanta. I worked on the Foxhall. There's a Westin that's being developed at. So those are the projects. It's an AC hotel at the airport in Atlanta. I worked on that project as well. So seeing those projects come to fruition is like, I was like, those are my babies. And that's then so I was there for 2 years, and then I moved to Boston. And I worked for C. Trent Warnick. That's a large third-party asset management firm. And that was that took it to another level as far as the complexity and understanding how ownership works and analyzing reports and understanding, the management relationships and management agreements and team selection and all those fundamentals and the complexities when it comes to hotel ownership. I learned a lot of that there.
But let me step back for a second though. You just, we started talking, you just said, I want to own a hotel. But why did you want to own a hotel? I mean, I know you worked at one, but like what motivated you to want to own it? I mean, I know you worked at it, but what made you want to do it?
Well, I have this thing of, I guess it's my personality. I just like having the highest position. So it wasn't like the benefits, the tax. I didn't understand any of that. Like, I didn't even understand it was real estate. I just thought owning a hotel, like, that's the highest position you can get. That's in my mind at the time. So it wasn't I want to become a millionaire. Like, it wasn't any of that. I didn't even know hotel owners back then were millionaires. Like, that's how, like, I was like, oh, because I was like interacting with billionaires at the time. And I was like, oh, you're a millionaire. I didn't put two and two together. Like they would come in on their own planes and all the other fun stuff with like 1,100 acres of land, and I didn't put two and two together. But yeah, it was just I just wanted to have the highest position. That's just I always wanted to be president. My personality. I was president of an organization, or because my motto is the only time you can complain, you have to do something about it. So in order to do something, you have to be a leader. So that's always in my personality.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what would you tell someone who's ready to get out there and own a hotel? And they didn't come from money. Matter of fact, they may not even have the network to raise money right now. What would you tell them?
And that happened with me. I think a lot of times people, they see me and they think I came from money. I wasn't like dirt poor. So I didn't come from like very humble beginnings, but I wasn't like wealthy. Like I didn't know any I didn't know any billionaires or billionaires growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even think I knew a billionaire like I didn't even know what that was. You know what I mean? I just but for the folks who want to own a hotel, one, join the mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that, because I wish I would have had something like this starting off, because it would have saved. I probably would have been a hotel owner.
Hey, woulda, coulda, shoulda known, right?
No, seriously, I probably would have been a hotel owner a long time ago, because there wasn't a roadmap, right? So it's like, who can I talk to? I had a lot of questions, and I'm like literally creating my own path, taking this 9-paid internship.
I mean,
like,
literally. I mean, you could find everything about owning real estate, commercial buildings, you can find stuff about raising money. I can go online now. I can't find anything about hotels.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
especially
I'm sure there's a book written about, but like, there was no book.
I created the book. There wasn't even a book.
Yeah, I mean, I would go.
A lot of information on how to buy a hotel.
Absolutely. No, I would go online, like even YouTube videos. I would go and nobody would sit there and explain how you analyze a hotel. Nothing.
Nope.
I was blown away. But they'll talk about apartments.
Well, a lot of people, when they think of real estate, they think of single family, they think of multifamily, right? So they don't think about hotels, right? And then I was the same way. So, and people don't understand that hotels are profitable. It's like, well, you stay there, right? And so, or they think it's intimidation, like you said, with the raising capital.
It is intimidating.
It's just like, well,
raising hotels is like one of the toughest things for me was, I was in this area of single family houses and multifamily. And soon as I start talking about hotels and raising money, and listen, I was doing okay. It's perspective. But if I needed to raise anywhere from $1 million to $5 million for apartments or just basic single families, I would get that immediately. Soon as I start talking about hotels, people were like, "What? You don't do hotels?"
They don't know you for hotels.
They was like, "I know you for single families and multifamilies. If you want to do that, I'll give you some money." But I get it now, and you without a doubt, I probably wouldn't have paid then, but I would pay now if I could have a consultant that knew their game. Which a consultant is really a coach. It's just it depends. Really what it is. Once you start paying a little more, it's a consultant.
Well, a lot of times people, they don't want to pay. They figure, I can figure it out on my own.
Man.
Not with hotels.
No.
Some stuff you can figure it out, but not with hotels. It's too complex with the management companies, the agreements, with the brands, with having the right team.
It's a lot of moving parts. I mean, just now, don't get me wrong, you'll deal with this with multifamilies, but when you get into CMBS debt, commercial-backed securities, non-recourse, in them hotels, that paperwork gets a little deeper. And typically a lawyer could look at that, but you want to specify a lawyer that really understands it. And as a matter of fact, it doesn't necessarily be a lawyer. Like, matter of fact, you introduced me to the lady that come to find out everybody knows her, Jackie, that basically interprets the documents for your CMBS and know how to negotiate and what to ask for. and what to watch out for and point out costs to you immediately. Like, that's the kind of people that I wish I had when I first started, especially like when I assumed that debt for Home 2. Like, if I'd have had that, I probably would negotiate that deal a little better. Although now that loan still looks great because I got a loan for, I don't know, 4.9% or something like that. So right about now, we look like a superstar.
Really? The loan for Home 2 is 4.9%?
Let's just say 5%.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's great.
So,
all right, let's talk about the 3 hotels.
yeah.
Ready to jump right in?
Yeah, let's go for it, bro.
All right.
And we're talking about the one I just did that I assumed the debt. That's a great segue. This was this Home 2, 85 keys. It cost, I don't know, 10, 12 million to build. We bought it for 8.3 million. We did no money down. The lender waived the assumption fee, which they could have charged
83,000.
83,000. They waived
1%.
it.
Yep.
And we raised just shy of $1 million to kind of bring some to current and have money set aside for cash burn. All right. And we did that through private investors. And again, we did it with no money down and a loan assumption. We didn't have to go get debt in the middle of COVID. And this is the deal. No, that's not true. I actually met Davonne. We were introduced for our first hotel, which was the Courtyard. But she was just coordinating. She was just putting her stuff together. She was almost there.
Missed it, man.
But she was like, when this came up, she was like, I ain't missing again. And she raised almost 30% of the fund on that one, roughly just 30% of it. So she did extremely well. I mean, but it was like ready. Like Davonne was like, I got it. Don't go nowhere. Here, like boss moves. That was amazing.
Yeah,
and she used a lot of her own techniques
for this one.
Yeah, she raised capital for that.
Yeah, I mean, can you tell us more about?
Yeah, so that's some of the stuff that we teach in the mastermind. I think a lot of times people, and I was even like that too. Like, and it is hard because I think sometimes it come across that it's not hard. It can be complicated and it can be hard. But when you work with people who've done it, like, Mike made mistakes, I've made mistakes, the other coaches have made mistakes. So basically, we're teaching you what not to do because we already did it. So we made mistakes.
Hey, thank you. Hey, let's go back to that. Why? Which is perfect. Why do you get a coach? You're paying them to learn from their mistakes. That's why you get the coach.
Yeah.
I mean, don't think the coaches are. We're not where we do mindset, but we're not your motivation coach. We're that coach this is how you get better, and this is how you avoid this mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even other people, like I've had other people when I was in my consulting life, it was some people who didn't listen to me. I advised them not to work with certain management companies. I was like, I wouldn't purchase that brand. Like I wouldn't do that if I were you all.
Absolutely.
Because again, I used to do feasibility studies. I came from the consulting world. So my experience is a little different from other people. And so they went against it. Like management companies, hotel management companies, they literally have a department for business development, which is known as sales. So their job is to sell you. So they'll say whatever to get you to sign a contract.
Absolutely.
And they'll move to the next person. And then once you work with them, you like, oh shit. Oops, sorry. They're like, man, they took advantage of me. Like, you're not working with me. You say you saw this and you just left me hanging. And they're like, oh well, you signed that contract for 5 years, holla at you, and you still gonna pay me my money.
That's right.
Right. And so, and it's this particular owner. Every time every time they see me, oh, Davonne, you were so right. I think one of the hotels, matter of fact, one of the hotels, they just lost it. They had to give it back.
Wow.
And I told him, I was like, it was overvalued and it was the wrong flag. I said, do not buy that hotel. It was and this was pre-COVID. The reason why I recommended not to buy that, purchase that hotel, because the brand was focused more so on business travelers. Remember, I used to work in a hotel. So I know what it's like when you work in the hotel and the economy hits. They start cutting people. People don't stay at your hotel because the hotels is based on the economy. When the economy is great, everybody's traveling. When the economy is bad, no one's traveling. Right? So if you have a hotel that's solely focused on business travelers, the mortgage company, the bank, they still don't want their money. They don't care. Right? And so you struggling trying to pay your bills. I mean, trying to pay the mortgage and employees and all those other things, but it could have been avoided if you just would have worked with someone who's been through it. Well, I never lost a hotel, but who's been through it, who's seen like, okay, this is, you don't want to buy this brand because it's a struggling brand. Like they don't know, they still haven't figured it out yet. And you purchased it anyway. And then you purchased, and then you used the wrong management company. So you got 2 out of 3 wrong. The wrong location. Well, actually 3 out of 3, wrong location, wrong brand, and wrong operator. And so now what you got to do, you got to get back the keys, all because you just didn't want to listen to somebody that could have helped you. But you choose to pay a consultant fee or pay a coach fee.
Wow.
Well said. Well, these are 2 other properties.
And this is the other one she came in, which we love this deal. I mean, you can read it on here, but one of the key things that we enjoyed about this project, the bottom line, we were going to be all in this hotel for $18 million. These 2 hotels, in Hampton Inn and Staybridge, and oh yeah, you already got it here. I'm sorry. We're going to be all in these hotels for $18 million. It's going to be minimum $24 million value. 6.1 million upside, not including cash flow. Like amazing. Like if you want to do it based on cap rates, we will have an NOI of 1.5. The Staybridge alone was going to be worth 17.6 million. The Hampton Inn with only a cash flow of 650,000, it's worth 6.5 million. I mean, we're talking about money, 2.1 million in cash flow. In cash flow. That's why we like hotels. I mean, the great thing about this, I assumed debt on this, and we raised capital for this deal as well. We assumed the debt, and we brought $400,000, portion of for renovation capex $900,000, and then $3.5 million to pay it back and put reserves and everything like that. I mean, to this day, if I really wanted to, we could sell Hampton for 7.5 easy. Forget 6, maybe 8, but 7.5 easy. All right, and we could get probably 17. Nah, man, we could get 17. We could get 17 for a Staybridge. I mean, we could really be at 8 million and walk away. That's tempting. Maybe I will. I don't know. We're thinking about that Hampton Inn though.
Yeah,
because we just finished renovations, and that's going to be an amazing project.
Any feedback on this deal, Davonne? What you like about this deal?
Well, one thing I will say about Mike, he know how to find some deals. Okay, he be finding deals better than the folks that been in the industry for years. They be like, Mike, how you find this deal? Right? So, one, it was just a good deal because of the how it was structured with the loan and everything. And then both of them, well, Staybridge is an extended stay, and one thing about Hampton Inn is one of the strongest brands, it's the most recognizable brands, especially for Hilton. So both of these hotels, so it's 3 things that makes a hotel successful. You have the location, you have the brand, and you have the operator. So the Staybridge is Indianapolis Fishers, so it's a great area, booming area, right? It's like 40 minutes north of Indianapolis. Okay, then it's a Staybridge is a extended stay model, which is mean it's a leaner operation. So it's not a lot of staff. And when I mean not a lot of staff, you don't have to clean the rooms every day. So extended stay typically guests stay, 5 to 7 days or more. So it has a kitchen. People are there for like projects for different, events where they need to stay for months. So typically those guests, they don't have to clean we don't have to clean it's not required to clean their rooms every day. So that's saving money from staffing, right? And then as far as with the operator, we have an operator in house that's managing the day-to-day operations. That's That's how Mike and I are able to talk to you. If not, we'll probably be checking in guests right now. Mike at the Staybridge, me at the Hampton Inn, doing a podcast.
That's exactly.
And then you have the Hampton Inn, which is outside. It's in Scottsburg, Indiana, and it's outside of Louisville. So it's off the interstate. So that's the location, right? And then it's a strong brand. It's a Hampton Inn, right? Everybody in that grandma felt like has stayed in a Hampton Inn or heard of a Hampton Inn. I feel like there's nobody else. Somebody has heard of or seen it, right? And then operator. So it's the same operator that's managing both the Staybridge and the Hampton Inn. So you have those three things that'll make it successful, right? And also you want to look at the brands, because when it's time to sell, you want to, it's institutional grade brands, right? So higher cap rates, you know, when you're trying to again sell the, you know, people it's the four major premium brands is Hyatt, Hilton, well, Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, and IHG, right? So with those particular brands, it makes it a lot easier to sell. Higher, you can definitely get your money. And the thing is, when you're buying into those type of brands, you're buying into the loyalty program. I think Hilton is number 2. IHG is either 3 or 4. And what that loyalty program means, I'm pretty sure somebody on this call is a Hilton Honors, right?
Yes, somebody's there. Hilton or Bon Voyage, one of them.
One of them, right? And so what do you do when you travel? You're like, oh, I want to say it because I want to accumulate my Hilton points because, you know, one day I want to go to Hawaii or go to Australia or something, right? So you have people who that brand loyalty. And so that's one of the reasons why you want to work with those type of brands, because people, they're familiar, they're comfortable with it. It's been around since before our grandparents have been alive, I'm sure. And so it's just that brand loyalty and that brand recognition. I'm sure you've seen a Hampton Inn or a Lotel Inn or something like that, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna say this Hampton Inn because I don't know anything about that other hotel.
Yeah, I'm glad you kind of went through that, because one of the things a lot of people always ask, like, what brand is the right brand, and do you always need a brand? And I got twofold. No, you don't always need a brand, but brands make your life a little easier. Why? Because they already have a system in place, and then on top of it, as you talked about, you're buying brand loyalty. You're actually, what we're talking about is brand loyalty means reservations, meaning for your hotel, pretty much wherever you're at, as long as you got a decent location, the brand, not saying they're responsible, but potentially they're going to be responsible for about 50% of your occupancy. Is that a fair statement? And then the rest, your sales, your district of sales, your regional sales, whoever, your online sales group, they're the ones responsible for getting that increasing you to 10 to 70% occupancy. So, because they're going to bring in what we call it in the business L&R, leisure negotiated rates, or you can say commercial accounts. They're responsible for responding to RFPs that go to the brand that then gets distributed to the local areas. So those are amazing things. So look, let's move on here. So look, guys, would you like me and Davonne to teach you and coach you, about hotel investing for a year? Type that in there if that's something because look, we can help you. Just anybody, would you like us to teach you? Let us know.
We already asked. We already got somebody that said, when is the next mastermind?
Well, that's good because we're going to tell you about Dia. Like, she's been our mastermind hotel. She did basically a no money down deal. She raised $750,000 to acquire the hotel, do renovations, and less than 12 months?
Yep.
16 months?
No, less than 12 months. More like 8 months. She refinanced it.
She fixed it up, got it rolling, refinanced it for $1 million or 1.2.
1 million is the appraised value of the hotel.
No, it was more than that. 1.2. That's what it was. It was appraised for one.
Yeah,
it appraised for 1.2, and she pulled $1 million out. She pulled her $750 back, paid our investors, and then had an additional $250,000.
Nice. Cool. And then for those of you guys worried about, but where will I find the money to buy these hotels, right? There are actually 5 no money down techniques that you will learn when you join the mastermind. You wanna discuss this?
Yeah, I mean, we got multiple. And listen, guys, these same techniques that I'm sharing with you, I've used them throughout my entire real estate career, from doing single families to doing multi-families, 2 and 4 families, to large multi-units, to hotels and to developments. I've used these same techniques, and here they are. Number 1, using seller's equity. We'll talk about that. You can joint venture or have the seller do owner financing. Technique number 2, you can use the lender's money. You can assume the debt, mortgage assumption. Sometimes we like to call it a subject to.
For single family homes.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Now, everybody knows
technique number
this.
2, by the way, is what you used in the home to suites, right?
Yeah, and I've done it in joint ventures as well.
Yep.
Some of my joint ventures, I brought the deal. And I partnered those guys. Not only did they bring money, but then we negotiated with the seller to do financing.
Nice.
You just got to know what to ask for. And that's what, not only we teach you that, but you'll learn that in hotels. You know, you guys want to learn about hotels, but you're going to learn way more than hotels. I don't want to go there. But number 3, technique number 3, a lot of you should know this. You might have heard OPM, not OPP, OPM. Okay. Nobody. Does anybody know what OPP was? No. Okay.
Yeah,
you did that. Yeah, no, we're not talking about that one.
you weren't expecting that word.
I'm naughty by nature for you that don't know that one. All right. Using other people's money, and that's basically a syndication. When you put these PPMs, you put these operating agreements. That's it. Now, technique number 4. Yes, you can use cash from the actual deal itself. You're like, what? What do you mean? How do you use cash from the actual deal? Let's talk about that. And then technique number 5, using cash from multiple sources. In layman's term, we're talking about what we call a capital stack. All right. Where are all the sources? Where did you source all the money and how it's used? Okay.
Right.
Let's go on to the next one, brother. I don't know if they're ready. Yeah. She ready. So what if you get Davonne and I to direct you to the right people, like right hotel operators, lenders, and even people can help you raise money for you?
I know everybody.
That is really true.
Yeah.
I really want to downplay that, but like,
why are you downplaying that?
She I felt like, you know, when you're like in high school and you may not know anybody, and then you meet the cool kid, and they just introduce you to everybody. Like Davonne is
the cool kid in high school.
I'm telling you, man. Mike, you need to be there. Oh, Mike, you need to be there. Oh, Mike, you need to be there. Oh, and just.
We were at VIP. Look, we were VIP at all the parties.
Yeah, we were.
That's awesome.
I probably would have been in my hotel room, and then people were coming up to me like, "Mike, you're the LinkedIn guy," and I was like,
I know, Mike, you were famous.
I was like,
whoa. I'm Mike, I've been, did he tell you? Everybody was coming up to Mike, was like, oh, I follow you on LinkedIn.
I was like, you do? You? I was like, you look at me? Oh, thank you. That's so nice of you. Thank you so much.
Oh, Mike, they not gonna be ready it's gonna be a surprise in August. They gonna when we show off our owner perks.
Oh man, yeah.
So y'all better get it now.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
They gonna be mad.
Yeah, we'll show them in August.
Okay.
Show y'all in August.
All I'll tell you is they treat us like superstars, literally. All right, so guys, if we can help you, type in the chat yes or yes. Whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, yes or yes. Let's go on to the next one. You know, tell us about Johannes. When?
Yeah, so Johannes Urpelainen, when he joined the mastermind, he told us that, hey, if you can help me, figure out how to buy just one hotel in the next 12 months, then my investment in the mastermind is worth it, right? And then 7 months into it, he informed us during the mastermind call, well, guys, actually in just 7 months, I own 3 hotels.
Yeah.
Right.
But you have to he put in the work.
Yep.
So don't come to the mastermind thinking, oh, you're just going to say, like, you got to show up on the calls. You got to put in the work. Look for deals. We'll analyze it. We'll help you. It's just you have to put in the work. So don't
Thank you
think
for
you're just
saying.
going to sit back.
Thank you for saying that.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So Like I remember one of the calls, and actually Davonne was there. That Johans was looking for a hotel operator. Remember that, Davonne?
Oh yeah, and I think he
Yeah.
was choosing the wrong one, and I was
Right,
like,
right,
no, this
right.
is like them. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And so Devon said, you know what? Call this person. Tell this person that I referred you. So it's like,
Yeah, that's boss move.
that's boss move, right?
Wow.
And because of that, like, and then I also referred like a hotel lender to Johannes. So
And I get it. When you first start, and it depends. And look, well, we know a lot now. It's just we can point you in the right direction. And whatever level of the game you want to play in hotels, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah. We can get you there. I mean, he's doing it on a level of like boutique.
Yeah.
Life small.
Yeah. Here's one of his 3 hotels. Yep. But go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, no, I mean, he did an amazing deal. Like, guys, and here's the thing. I know some of you are like, I got to have a branded hotel. Man, you can kill it with just a small hotel. This is a little 14-room hotel. He's all in for $620. He put down, what, 100 grand? 75? How much did he put down?
Yeah, 20%. So like 140, I think, or 120,000 something, 130,000.
Yeah,
I mean, he got it for
120.
like 80% loan to cost. Yeah,
his gross is like 200.
that's great.
It only cost him about 100 grand. I don't even know if it costs that much a year to operate.
Yeah, I mean, he will
in 3
years.
He will in
literally
3 years
get his
less,
money
he'll
back.
get all his money back.
Probably shorter than that, Mike.
I'm just being really concerned. He probably could do it in a year and a half.
Right. In 18 months, he'll get all of his money back.
For 3 months, for sure, he will receive his down payment back.
And then look at it, you guys. So when you look, I'm just looking at this, right? So he has multiple streams of revenue coming in, right? He has the rooms, so he has the guest rooms. He has the lounge and bar, so he has food and beverage, and he has room. So he has 2 streams of revenue coming in, and I'm sure. And then since it's an independent hotel, he can probably put it on Airbnb or other short-term rental platforms. He got an owner's quarter that could be a multifamily. So it's all these different revenue streams, which we can teach you all in the mastermind. Instead of just looking at it one way, we can teach you different ways on how to maximize your revenue.
Yeah, and he's still like this is around the lake. And now that he came in, went in, put it together, and then the local mayor, local community, the council has asked them to do more developments.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're all behind him.
Right. And then the thing is, for this particular deal, Johannes doesn't even have any investors, just one business partner. So like he has basically like 50% of the profit on this deal all to himself.
I'm gonna tell you something. You got some people that own large hotels and they're not even doing this well.
Oh,
not,
really?
not trying. Now some of them have different strategies, but yeah.
Wow. So even in a smaller hotel, you can
Now
sometimes
I'm gonna
beat
tell
out
you
the
though,
bigger
like
ones.
these smaller, so these type hotels would be considered the C class, but it's definitely not a C class hotel, right? It's just because it's just not a branded, right? So they step down. But these are like little lifestyle boutique brands. You get to learn the community, but you get the right
And the
one.
biggest thing is you get to learn how a hotel operates.
Oh my
right?
gosh!
So
You start.
that's the
Thank you.
biggest thing. Yeah.
You start at this level, and you just keep growing. It's just an amazing opportunity here, and he's doing extremely well. Let's go on to the next one. So, would you like me and Davonne to teach you and coach you hotel investing? Just text Top Desk to 206-803-8068. That's 206-803-8068. All right. Join the Big Deal Maker Masterminds application only. We limited to just the 10 people. So look, if you're just curious, don't apply. We're looking for Navy SEALs, not baby SEALs. We don't want anybody in safety mode. We want people in beast mode. Text Top Desk 206-803-8068. That's 206-803-8068.
All right. So
we have some questions in the chat.
Okay, let's go for
go
it.
ahead and let's answer the questions.
Walt, because I can't see you, take that screen out of the way.
Yeah, but still keep it there so that
Okay,
people have
all
the
right.
have the phone
Don't
number.
listen to me.
It's 206-803-8068. Put Top Desk.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, what's the question, brother? I don't have my glasses here.
So the
What about
question
having
we
money for
had, so
repairs
when is
and
the next
operating costs?
mastermind? So wait, whoa. So when is the deadline? Is there a deadline for them to invest since it's only limited to 10 people?
Yes, we will close it out April 7.
Yeah, I got
So,
until April 7th, y'all. All right, so it says, what about having money for repairs and operating costs? So we'll talk about that as well on how to structure it because you're gonna have to put money set aside for reserves anyway,
right,
which is
right, right.
required later. So
So,
when you're going through the
yeah, can I answer that question too? So what about
Yeah.
having money for repairs and operating costs? So that's something that you can include when you raise money from private investors. Is include that, it's called, in hotel, there's a fancy term called PIP, property improvement plan, but you include that when you actually get a loan, and the lender can actually fund part of that too.
Yeah,
right?
and I mean, and not just for hotels. You do that with apartments. You do it with single families. Whenever you acquire property, you definitely put a reserve in place. And so let me just, and for more clarity, when you acquire, let's say a house, and let's say the house costs you $100,000, and you got to put $20,000 in, right? All right, so you borrow 120 grand, but then in addition, you have what they call a contingency or reserve, and you add another 10% to that, or 10,000 to it. Who knows? And so that helps to make payments. If you ran over in your renovations, CapEx, that's what you use that reserve for.
Yeah, and then you borrow, let's say 80%, right? So you only need to bring 20%, and then the 20% you can get private investors to put that money up.
Absolutely.
So it's like, you can literally be in a deal with no money coming out of your pocket.
We've done that multiple times.
Yep.
What else we got there?
So the next question is, will the interest rates today affect refinancing in the future?
Absolutely.
What if it's too much to refinance? What's plan B? From Chauncey's.
That's a good question,
Yeah.
but I mean, and I'm gonna let Davonne jump in this as well. But like, you have people loans term ending, and they had a very low interest rate. Now, if they bought right, they're going to be fine. But if they bought based off that 2% because they felt like they're going to cash flow that, and they rate adjust, if they're not bringing enough cash flow, they can go down and burn in flames. Then on top of it, with interest rates going up, that potentially will slow. See, values are definitely going to come down. The reason why, because people can't buy, they don't have the cost of money costs so much, so they can't pay as much. For example, if you did $1 million loan and you were at 2%, well, guess what? You're only paying $20,000 a year. But now you're paying 8%, you're paying $80,000 a year. All right. So if you are at 2%, and your net income was 50, so if you take 50 minus that 20, you're still netting 30,000. Well, now if the debt went to 8% and you were only netting 50, you're at a negative 30,000 a year loss. So those are the things. So that's going to force people to sell, and they're going to have to sell at a reduction because the cost of funds cost so much. They're going to have to buy it at a cheaper price to deal with the annual debt. So those are some of the things that will happen there. That's what's going to affect the economy. That's going to affect deals, hotels. Now, anything that has a lot of revenue, can get away with it. But if it's on a tight budget, those are the people that's going to get affected the most.
Related to that, there is actually, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association, there is $247.52 billion worth of hotel mortgages that are maturing this year. And so because of that, as you said, Mike, some of them have low interest rate mortgages, right? 5%, but now it's 7% or even higher. So those mortgages, if they overpaid for their hotels, right, they will be in a negative cash flow situation, and some of those mortgages might go into foreclosure. Absolutely. Or some might sell at a steep discount just so that they don't get foreclosed on.
They'll be motivated.
Yeah.
They'll be motivated to
Right. So there's like a lot of opportunities coming up, right? So this is like right now is the right time to actually be prepared to take advantage of these that are coming up soon.
Absolutely.
And as you can see, travel is coming back. So,
Yeah.
So we got another question.
What's that?
People keep asking. It says, how do you find these off-market deals?
Yeah, go ahead. You take that one.
I'm gonna say people go crazy about off-market deals. So my thoughts on off-market deals. Sometimes when you start off with off-market deals, you really thinking you're really getting a really good deal.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time it goes to market, either it wasn't a good deal, nobody bought it off market, or the seller's so motivated to sell because he or she couldn't sell it off market. So by the time it gets to the market, it's probably a better deal. But the first thing I wouldn't be so focused on finding off-market deals. I would just be focused on finding deals. So building relationships with hotel brokers, and people who really understand hotels, because you're getting into the off-market space because you haven't built a lot of relationships yet. So you go on to off-market deals, and then you may run into a lot of wholesalers. And a lot of times with wholesalers, they don't understand how to analyze deals, and they don't understand hotels.
Yes.
And so you're spinning your wheels, and the wholesaler doesn't even have control of the site or the deal. And really, you can just go around. It's easier to go around a wholesaler in hotels because you can just go straight to the owner or go to the broker. And a lot of times they don't have control. So I wouldn't be focused on off-market deals. I would just be focused on finding deals and building relationships with brokers. And a lot of times with brokers, they get access to off-market deals. And if they see that you're a motivated seller, then they'll reach out to you with deals that may be on market, or they may reach out to you before the hotels even hit the market.
And that's key because most brokers, first of all, most hotel people, they don't want a lot of people going through their information. They, I'm not saying they won't put it out in the market, but most of the brokers, they don't have, there's not really an MLS for hotels. Everybody has their own website and they post their hotels on what they have. But for the most part, it's all relations. So I encourage you to, start creating a lot of relationship with hotel brokers and go where they go. And where do they go? They go to the Hunter Conference. They go to the Lodging Conference, which happens in September. They go to Alice. Now, Alice is a little different. There's NABHood. We also have, now those are all big in hotels. Then we also have Bird 360.
You get Bird 360.
Yeah. And then
I would start off at Bird 360 because a lot of those other conferences, they're really high level and they're for people who have a lot of hotels. And so they're not first time hotel.
Is fair. Yeah, if you're a first time hotel, Bird 360 is no doubt the place for you to go.
That's the best.
And then I would go to NABHood. Now, one thing I did, that was first time I went, I knew about it, but then we got hit with COVID, blah, blah, blah. But that was the one place that was so comprehensible on just little things. And whereas Hunter and these other ones are more networking, NABHood actually is more instruction.
Yeah. Well, and the Hunter Conference, they're, like I said, some of these people, they have like 50, 100 hotels. So a lot of times, if you don't have a hotel, they don't even talk to you.
But you know what? I was surprised this year at the Hunter Hotel. Like the first session, they were talking about how to put a capital stack, how to structure the deal.
They're getting better. They are. I will say they are getting better. They are getting better as far as working with first time hotel owners, but it's still like. Because even with us, with our hotels, it's technically not a lot of hotels.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Go to places like Hunter. They just talk to us because we're visible, right? But for the most part, and the reason I'm saying this because I've heard this from other attendees that they felt that they weren't getting the information that they needed, or nobody would really talk to them.
No, because you need literally at a conference like that, you need somebody to hold your hand to make some intros. Now, you can't. Now that's another story. But how to work a conference, it's a little more challenging. But any conference you go to,
that more. We should. Matter of fact, Mike, I think we should talk about that. How to work a conference.
The key thing.
That would be a good topic.
Because the key thing people don't know, people just go to conferences and just show up and think they'll meet people or go to the booth, which it is. But the real relationship starts. You gotta go through the attendance list, and literally you go down the attendance list. Anybody that's in a field or something you think you want to do, you set up a quick 15-minute. Say, hey, I would love. It's the email. Every conference you go to typically has an attendance list, and you email them or through that app, whatever they have, and say, hey, I would love to meet. I'll be at the Hunters Conference, or I'll be at the Bird 360, or I'll be at NAPA. I'd love to sit down with you for 15 minutes. They respond, bam, and you just load your calendar up, and guess what? You can meet as many people you want in that period of time. Yeah, will some of those be a waste? Absolutely. But I guarantee you're going to meet somebody that's doing something that you want or that can help you and assist you anyway. All right, we got another question here.
Do these techniques also work outside the USA, Europe, as an example?
Yes, but everything is a little different. And the reason I say that, let's take Jamaica, let's take Bolivia. Bolivia, they don't really do big loans. So you got to raise more capital than you do debt. Like Bolivia only do about 30% loan to value. Right?
Yeah, in some countries, you can't bring any lending. You have to finance it 100% yourself.
There you go. So my point is, you're going to raise capital in order to do that. You still no matter what country you're in, if somebody owns the land, you can say, hey, I need you to put that in equity or throw that in the deal, and then once I sell everything off or get to a point I can refinance or whatever extent, then you cash them out then.
Yeah.
So you can use these same techniques.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we could teach you how to. So one thing about when you're buying hotels internationally, you have to understand the locals. You have to understand the local municipalities. And so we can walk you through how to do that. Like I went to Turks and Caicos last year for an international trip on buying hotels. So I understand how that process works and who you need to talk to there, because you have to talk to people in person internationally. So a lot of these techniques can be used out of the USA, out of the United States.
Yep. We just need to tweak it a little bit to work in other countries. All right. So next question is, have you purchased new construction hotels or just stick to value add?
Oh, we bought, well, let's just say this. We've bought one hotel, which was the home to was newer construction. It was only 2-3 years old when we acquired it, which is great, right? Because you don't have as much CapEx. Things are not breaking.
You didn't have to worry about the PIP or anything.
Yep, you don't have to worry about a PIP. A small PIP. I think it was only like $50,000-$60,000, but nothing.
It was minor issues because the previous owner kind of neglected it a little bit, but it wasn't like too bad.
Absolutely. What was the other thing? Yeah, no, I mean, and we're doing new construction now. But now after I do this project, like I can actually say I've done it all, almost not completely all, but I've done a lot. And
well, some of the listeners right now don't know what that is. So that's a $110 million hotel condo development project that Mike is doing in Sarasota, Florida.
Yeah.
Will be comprised of 120 hotel rooms and 35 condos, right?
Yes, and some small office retail.
And retail at the bottom, right? Is it the bottom? Okay, cool.
So an amazing project. By the way, 506C, anybody want to be a part of that? Just go to our website.
We got to get that deal on Investor, Mike. You've been playing.
Well, let's go. Nassau Invest.
We can get non-accredited if we put it on Investor.
That's true.
Have at it. Let's go. What else we got here? Is that our time? That's it? Okay, we got to get out of here. Hey, Davonne, thank you so much. From the front desk to the top desk to Ebony to Black Enterprise to Essence soon.
And I was just recognized that Hunter too. Did you see my locker?
Can I get a part of this? Because I'm just like a stepchild.
Did you see my locker?
No, what happened?
Hey, Hunter.
Oh yeah,
I had a picture of you and Nate and everything.
You told me, but I didn't see it. You said it was there. I didn't see it.
I forgot to take you up there. They highlighted me at the Hunter conference.
Nice.
Why wouldn't they highlight you? You're the highlight of everyone's life.
So if you want to get Davonne as your coach, as well as Mike Ely, text the word top desk to 206-803-8068. And
Everybody please give Davonne a round of applause for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right. Hey, what time is it now, brother? It's time.
It's 1:01.
Yeah, it's time we get out of here. We're going to be real quick here.
All right, bye,
Thank you so
guys.
much, Davonne.
Thanks,
Thank
Davonne.
you all. I'll see you all in class.
Mindset. Look, guys, I can go in about this mindset and give you guidance and coaching, but today I just want to keep it 100 with you. Some of your flaws, some of your weaknesses, you got to address them, because that's what's going to hold you back from reaching your success. Saying that you'll deal with it later, saying that you won't go after it, you'll deal with it time. I'm going to tell you there's going to be a due date, and you ain't going to be able to cash that check. You want to be consistent and not afraid. Don't be afraid to communicate. I'm just telling you, one of my weaknesses was not communicating. Not being direct. I know people in the office, Win and Walt and everybody else, they all tell you, like, that damn Mike don't communicate nothing. He just go. But, man, you got to share your vision. And you know what? Guess what? If you don't know how to really explain, keep talking until you get it right. Write it out. Share with people, and then execute. Don't wait. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. And because guess what? You continue to wait, then tomorrow's here, and then you miss out. Or it may cost you. You always got to be ready. And you just can't quit. I've talked about this all the time, and so many times I just don't address the issue sometimes, right? Because I'm always looking at the big picture, and I get it. When you going to the top, you can't always deal like you said, Dale Carnegie. Don't sweat the small stuff, but sometimes you got to deal with them details. So I just encourage you guys. Just double down. Go after it. Don't hold back. Keep that dog in you. Life is hard, but if you use the tools God gave you, you'll be able to work your way out. Do the maintenance on that situation and keep thriving. As always, God bless you. God keep you. May God bless you beyond your belief, but not your capacity. And remember, you're one big deal away. See you next week. Peace.
Yeah, I was born to be the greatest. Yeah, I was born to be your favorite. Look, mom, on the billboard, I made it. That's what I dream every day, so I say it. Yeah, I used to be broke though, money was so-so. Used to be loco, but I was born to be the realest. Yeah, I was born to be the illest. Cause anything is possible. If you don't know it, got to go. I'm about to blow. I'm about to start the show.